This episode will make you feel all warm and crusty inside. No, I mean warm on the inside and crusty on the outside. God damn it, you know what I mean. Welcome to another episode of Bragg N Bout Business, brought to you by the fine people down at Cowboy Trail Brewery. Cheers to the West. This week, we get busy in the kitchen with Lynn Freeman of Lynn's Sourdough Bakery Company. All your burning questions on sourdough bread making will be answered, such as, is old sourdough starter actually better? What is the oldest known sourdough starter? And why does it taste so goddamn good? And many more. Lynn is such a pleasure to be around, which makes the bread even better. Enjoy. Welcome, Lynn, to Bragg N Bout Business.
Thank you.
Excellent. So Lynn's Sourdough Bakery Company. Ah, fantastic. Based in Redwood Meadows, Alberta.
Yes.
Fantastic. So tell me how you started baking bread.
Oh my gosh.
Is this a new endeavor or is this something you've done your whole life?
You know, honestly, I've had a passion for baking my whole entire life.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And, through owning and operating the restaurant since 2015, I'm a big foodie. But to be honest, to sourdough, I just kind of woke up one morning and went, I'm tired of paying my therapist $150 an hour. Somebody said making sourdough is better than therapy. I made a starter. And that was it.
Yeah.
Just, the first 14 days and making a start, like getting it ready for baking and, growing it from there. I mean, that's honestly how it all started.
Excellent, excellent. I did some sourdough baking during beginning of COVID. Like everybody did. I think they all kind of got into it at that point in time. But it was a process for sure. It's not an overnight thing.
No, definitely not. No. I mean, it took me until I was able to really sell bread and feel confident in what I was selling. It was a good 6-month process.
Is that right?
Get the starter established, to get it mature and to figure out all the processes and get all the equipment together and stuff. Yeah, it is. It was a bit time consuming in the beginning.
I can imagine. So how long has the business been in operation now?
I started in June.
Oh, okay. So very new.
Yes. Yeah. It's still very new. And honestly, it took off right away. I was very surprised about it. So I found myself doing a lot of baking in the summer that I wasn't expecting, but it was good. Definitely no complaints.
That's good. We've got some bread in the background there and it looks beautiful. I don't know what it is about sourdough bread, but it does look beautiful when it comes out of the oven.
Yeah. And there's different styles of bread and different ways to bake it and stuff. And I mean, honestly, there's just so many different ways to score it, to put designs on it and stuff. So it's kind of fun.
And just the way it toasts up and browns on the outside. I mean, it's fantastic.
Exactly. I'm always think it's like Christmas morning, like when I take my lid off the Dutch oven and I think, oh, another beautiful loaf of bread. It's so great.
Right? No, that's exactly it. Exactly. So how long have you been in Redwood Meadows?
Moved here in January 2022.
Oh,
so coming up on 4 years, I guess.
Time goes by so fast.
Yeah,
so fast. Yeah. What brought you to Redwood?
Just when I was living in the city, I was working downtown, working in oil and gas, and then when I stopped working in oil and gas, I just sort of lost my taste for the city life and
blame you there.
Yeah, and got older, got a little more cranky. And just decided I just wanted quieter. Didn't have to deal with the commute going downtown anymore. So I'm like, hey, and honestly, for as many times as I've ridden my motorcycle through Bragg Creek from Calgary, I had no idea that Redwood Meadows was here.
Right. Well, you just drive by the highway and you got that berm there and it's just right there. Yeah. You don't even know what's going on behind the.
Yeah, exactly. Behind all of the trees.
That's right.
Of course, it's there. But so when pulled into the community one day and I went, holy smokes, like there's an actual community here. So, and like I immediately went, wow, I need to live here. Yeah.
It's pretty cool. Do you remember your first loaf of bread that you baked?
Oh, I sure do.
When Lynn was a little girl in the kitchen? No.
Way back then, no. But I will say, so when you talked about COVID, we were all baking bread during COVID and there was no flour and no yeast to be found anywhere. And I hoarded it like people hoarded toilet paper. And I'll tell you, I got pretty good at it. But my first few loaves, they were more like pancakes than bread.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. No, I remember buying like yeast and like the grocery stores, I think, were rationing it out. They're putting it in their own plastic containers. And I don't know if the quality was there or not, but.
Yeah. No, I remember that well.
Yeah. So your starter, is there a story behind your starter where you got it from, or did you nurse it from a little baby starter?
I started it with my own flour and water and I learned about it from there and I did what they told me to do for the first 8 days and then it wasn't taking off. And then they said, well, try for another 8 days. And I went, boy, this is really annoying. Do I really want to do this? But then after that, it was just I just kept doing it and it just matured to where it is today. And, as you go along, you realize things and you learn certain things about how
Yeah.
starters act and the kind of bacteria and yeast it creates and stuff. And it's fascinating.
It is.
Honestly, it's such a geeky thing. Like I belong to a group called Sourdough Geeks. I'm a sourdough geek. Totally.
But it does seem like there's a little bit of magic that happens in that starter, and everybody claims to have the best starter, and it's, I don't know, 50-year-old starter. My great great grandfather started the starter, and we've been feeding it for 50 years. Is that true when somebody says that?
Absolutely is true. I think the oldest starter I know of is a 150-year-old starter from San Francisco. We all know San Francisco is famous for its sourdough. So
Yes, true.
but it's sort of not hard to have that because if you think about it, like I've got a grandmother starter and then a mother starter and then a daughter starter. So I've got different iterations of it and I've given it away to people and they're doing their own thing with it. So it's kind of like this weird family of starters. So you can literally pass it down to generations, which is so cool.
That is cool. Now, is the older the starter better?
Yes. So
Ah, okay.
the more you use your starter, the more you feed your starter, the more you bake with your starter, it becomes mature, right? And it just gets healthier and stronger. Like the bread I'm baking today, it's crazy different than the stuff I even baked, I would say 4 months ago. Yeah. And
That's surprising.
it's all because of starter and it's all because of like you learn when your starter peaks and that's when you have to bake with it. Or if your starter's fallen, you got to throw it out and start from scratch again. And it's honestly, I was never any good at science in high school, but this is a science thing I'm good at, and I'm happy about that because it seems to work. So,
Well, that's good to know. So, why do you focus just on sourdough?
I sort of reached the point. So I turned 60 in September and I think as you get older, you become more aware of the things that you're putting into your body because you start having the aches and pains and you're like, what's contributing to that? And then you start reading labels of things. And even for me, I mean, I'd go to the grocery store and buy, hot dog buns or hamburger buns, or
Right.
even a loaf of white
Yeah.
bread or whatever, because who doesn't love white bread? And you start reading the ingredients on the labels and it's like, oh, I can't even pronounce that. And I just kind of thought like even baking with yeast, I'm like, this just doesn't feel like a natural thing to me. Like it was okay. It produced, something that was better than buying it in the store. And I even bought a bread maker and tried that out. But I thought, you know what? Sourdough can be made into anything. I make buns, I make pizza dough, I make pancakes.
Pancakes.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
never tried a
yeah,
sourdough pancake.
yeah, they're quite delicious.
Okay.
Maybe a little too delicious. But yeah, so I just kind of go, well, like my Facebook page said, life is too short to eat bread that is not fermented.
This is true.
Yeah. And it's just honestly, sourdough is truly good for you. It's good for your gut. It's
Yes.
good for the balance of things in there. And, for a lot of people, especially for me, it's an appetite suppressant. Like I can have a sandwich for lunch and I'll be having a late dinner, like, and sometimes I don't even have dinner. And I know for, people that have like type 2 or type 1 diabetes, sourdough bread and products don't affect their blood sugar.
Right.
It
Yeah.
doesn't
It's
cause blood sugar.
metabolized differently.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So I just think for me, it's become more about focusing on different ways of eating and thinking about, what I'm putting into my body and sort of sitting down and going, my knees were sore, my joints are sore. Like, let's sort of break that down and see what I need to eliminate kind of thing.
Yeah. No, for
Yeah.
sure. And I think that's something that, well, this is what Shannon and I were from Appraiser were talking about the difference between, a lot of North American wines where there's a lot of additives into it versus what goes on in Europe. And in Europe, you can eat carbs all day long there and you feel good. You don't gain weight. It's amazing what happens what goes into the bread, right? And with sourdough, there's only a few ingredients, correct?
There's literally my sourdough is unbleached flour, sea salt, and filtered water.
My
That's
goodness.
it. It's pretty crazy if you think about it that you can make this really delicious loaf of bread
Yeah.
out of just that. Like no sugar. I've tried different iterations with like honey and I've tried putting olive oil into it because you get a softer crust with that. But I'm like, you know
Okay.
what? I just want to keep it simple.
Yeah.
I want to keep it healthy. I want to keep it affordable because
Right.
things cost so much these
My
days,
goodness.
right?
It's nothing to go to a farmer's market now and see loaves of bread for like $18. Like,
I know
oh,
nobody wants to pay $18 for a loaf of bread. I don't care how much you like bread.
right.
Nobody wants to pay that. Yeah.
And especially if you pay $18 and it's horrible.
Yes, yes, exactly. Yeah. And if you got a family of four, that $18 loaf is going to last you for
That's a
one day.
meal.
Yeah,
That's a meal for us. Like if we have like a chili or something. I mean, that yeah, most of that loaf's gone.
exactly.
Yeah, my goodness. So let's talk products. So you've got obviously the loaves of bread.
Yes.
What else do you?
So what I'm working on right now is a rye sourdough. So I'm going to start baking rye this Friday. I found that my
Fantastic.
customers have asked me, well, can you start doing that? So I started messing around with that. And I've got a product that I'm pretty happy with.
Excellent.
So again, just keeping it simple with just rye and whole wheat flour and
Yeah.
the regular flour. Working on some buns, like hamburger buns and then hoagie rolls.
Wow.
And
Good
I
too.
currently make
Yeah.
every Friday I do sourdough pizza dough. So my customers really like that because it's just honestly,
So easy.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I
Take
mean,
it out, slap it on the counter for 3 hours, let it rise, put it in a pan. You got great pizza. Yeah,
yeah, exactly.
yeah,
Well, that's good.
yeah.
And I've also seen, I guess your small loaves can also be transformed into bowls as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
So most of actually, all of the loaves that I make are 2 pound loaves.
Okay.
So I basically thought, sometimes because, there's just me, it's like, I don't want a whole 2 pound loaf of bread. So I thought I'm going to make one that's like 1 pound. And I thought this would be a cute little soup.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly. Yeah.
But, as a small loaf for like one or two people or as a soup bowl or whatever, I mean, come on. There's like some soup in a bread bowl. That's one of the best things ever, I think.
It feels so fancy when you get
Yes,
one at the
exactly.
restaurant like that. No,
Exactly.
exactly. And do you also sell the starter,
So I don't sell
or
the
is that like a?
starter just because you know what? I've given away starter. I have starter that I've dehydrated because that's the way to store it for years.
Is that right?
You can take
I
it
never heard of this.
and resurrect it, and it'll be the same starter that you dehydrated. And
It's a
if someone
miracle.
wants to ask me for starter, I'm more than happy to give it away. But it's not something that I want to sell because
That's your trademark. That's your special thing.
it's I don't mind sharing that. I
Yeah.
honestly don't. So I've
Okay.
had a couple of customers that actually a lady that lived down the street, her dad came from BC and she said he wants to start baking. And I said, here, take some of the dehydrated sourdough starter with you. And yeah, so it was easy for him to transport home and bake with when he got there. So I'm sharing that actually.
Yeah, it's really nice. Now, going back to your rye bread for a second. So, are you making it with like caraway seed, or is it just a
I'm just,
pure rye?
I did one of my customers was very nice and did a beta testing for
Wow,
me.
okay, that's good. Let me know
And
if you need any more beta testing. I'm more than happy to
It's
help.
amazing how many people are happy to be beta testers. I'm not finding difficulty with that at all,
Yeah.
but I think I'm just going to stick with just the dark rye right now.
Okay.
And it's not quite a pumpernickel rye. So it's just regular,
Yeah.
I think that's an organic flour. And I may try the caraway seeds. The thing is, when you bake something, I always bake it to what I like and what tastes,
I
which is
don't like
why
caraway seed.
yeah,
I don't
I
like
don't
it.
really like the
No.
flavor. So that's why I kind of like other people to taste it and say, oh, this was, you could tweak this or you could do whatever. Like I've done that with a couple of my sweet loaves versus my savory loaves. So I'm not really a sweet loaf person. So I've given a loaf to my customer and said, try this cranberry orange loaf and see what you think. And she's like, oh, it just needs a bit more citrus. And so I kind of value that because my palate's different than everyone else's.
Exactly. No. When you add other things to the sourdough, does it change how it rises, how it bakes?
It all depends what you're adding. So if you add
Okay.
something that's got high liquid content,
Yeah.
you have to sort of cut back on the amount of water that you use. It's very much like it's a calculation really. It's just math, right? So instead of using water like I did
I
with
failed
the
math.
orange float, you know what? I wasn't great at it either, which I don't know. I'm having a hard time explaining how I'm successful at what I do today. But it's just a question of replacing one for the other. So when I did my cranberry orange, it was like I'm adding orange juice, but I'm going to take away the water. So,
Right.
and just being really careful of, I do a sun-dried tomato and feta loaf, making sure I pull the oil out of the sun-dried tomatoes because that makes the dough really difficult to work
I
with.
can imagine. Yeah.
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 So, but for the most part, once you work with it a few times and experiment with it, like I've got most of them down pat now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Good. All right. Flavors.
Yes.
What flavors do you have? Because I've seen there's quite a selection on your Facebook site.
Yeah. Well, the most popular would be cheddar and pickled jalapeno. And I've yet to taste it because I can't eat anything spicy, but I hear it's absolutely great.
My wife loves spicy, so
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Okay. Cheddar and dill pickle. Love that. Do grilled cheese with that.
that would be
Amazing.
epic. Yeah.
Sun-dried tomato and feta, which is my personal favorite.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
anything Mediterranean is good. Cheddar and Italian seasoning and cheddar parmesan, cheddar everything bagel. and what was the other? Roasted red pepper and mozzarella is going to be what that I'm coming out with. So
Yeah, that would be good too.
so,
Excellent.
and they're ever evolving. Like I did the cranberry orange one for Thanksgiving, and I'll probably do it again for Christmas. And then I've tried like apple cinnamon and stuff like that. So the savory ones are the ones I'm more focused on right now, than the sweet ones, because then you're adding sugar and
Yeah, that's
all
true
of
too.
that and
Yeah,
stuff. So
I prefer the savory.
yeah,
Yeah,
and just keeping things simple.
keep it simple.
Yeah.
That's right. Exactly. Exactly. So walk us through the process, right from the starter to the finished loaf. What's that look like?
So tonight, I don't have any starter that's active, so I have it in my fridge. So if you're not baking with it every day, you keep it in your fridge. So I'll take it out of the fridge tonight and I'll put maybe 20 grams of starter in a jar and I'll feed it with, if I'll do a 1 to 5 feeding, so I'll do 20 grams of starter, 100 grams of flour and 100 grams of water, and it will ferment and rise, and that will generally take about 12 hours. So tomorrow when I get up, I will be ready to make dough. So I just take my starter, and however much starter I have, I usually use about 100 grams of starter per loaf. So I'll make my dough tomorrow, and that will take me about 2.5 hours. And it will sit pretty much all day, depending on what my schedule looks like. So it could sit from 3 hours to 12 hours to what's called bulk ferment, which is where your dough proofs, where it gets
Yeah,
sort
yeah,
of big and puffy.
yeah.
And then when that's done, you take it and you shape it and you put it in the fridge for its cold ferment. I usually like to cold ferment my dough for about a minimum of 12 hours, but usually like 18 to 24 hours.
Wow,
And it
that's a long
develops
time.
that,
Yeah.
yeah, it develops that sourdough taste. Like your starter obviously does, but the longer you leave it to cold ferment in the fridge, it develops that sourdough taste. And I like to leave it for that 18 to 24 because I find anything longer than that, it gets tangy. And there are a lot of people that really like that really tangy sourdough.
It's true.
But
Yeah.
I'm doing it in the middle, like to try and appeal to everyone. So yeah, so when someone says to me, like, how long do you need for an order? It's generally 2 days. So it's like if you let me know by 6 o'clock today, I'll have bread for you on what's today, Monday? Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So and then when I get up Wednesday morning, after my dough sat in the fridge all night, I will bake it for it usually takes me, depending on how many loaves, an hour or two in the morning. Let it cool and out the door it
Out
goes.
the door goes. So you must be an incredibly patient person because this isn't you start it and you just throw the oven and half an hour later kind of thing.
You know what? It's honestly, it's a lot of people say, "Oh, I can't do sourdough because it takes so much time." It actually doesn't take time. It's just you have to be organized. So
Yeah.
if I had to work a 9 to 5 job, it would be really difficult because I would either be up at 3 in the morning, which a lot of bakers are, or I would
Right.
be up until 1 in the morning, which is what I did last night, and that's not sustainable.
No, it's not.
No, so
No.
it's good for me because with the line with the work that I do right now, I know my mornings are sourdough, then I've got my afternoons. And if I don't need to go anywhere in the afternoon, I'll speed ferment my dough so it's done in 2 hours. Into the fridge it goes. But if I'm doing something else and I need 5 or 6 hours, it's like, oh, I'm going to leave it on my counter at 60 degrees and it's going to take longer.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
it's an exercise in organization.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. How do you maintain your consistency of your loaves?
It's honestly the exact same recipe, the exact
Rinse
same
and repeat.
process.
Rinse and
Just
repeat.
yes, I'm always looking at new recipes and I'm like, no, I'm not going to deviate from the thing that I know. Like if it's not broke, don't fix it. I do the exact same thing, the exact same quantities, the exact same ingredients, the same flour, the same thing all the time. And failing overproofing my dough, which I've done on occasion, and it turns out to be a big blob of nothing that you can
Was
work
that
with.
right?
You turn it into focaccia.
Oh,
Obviously,
okay. All right.
nothing's ever wasted, but
Sure.
yeah, I mean, it's just really consistency and diligence, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Good. Going back to, before bread happened, what kind of experience did you have in life before this? You were a corporate person from what I understand. Worked in oil and gas.
Yeah, I worked as an executive assistant to board of directors for large oil and gas companies. So did that for, oh my gosh, close to 30 years.
Really?
Yeah.
Holy
Well, in
smokes.
various different roles, but
Sure.
yeah. Yeah. And then left the corporate world and got engaged. And I've owned and operated a pizza restaurant in Calgary since 2015.
Really?
Yeah. So lots of working with dough there too. Yeah.
Oh, you would?
Yeah. And that's just sort of, I don't really like the restaurant scene. Like it's a lot of chaos and a lot of,
So it's a lifestyle.
it
Yeah.
is. So I prefer to be the behind
Uh,
the scenes person. Like I've been the financial manager and that doing all the back office stuff. So that's sort of my forte there. But the cooking and the baking, like I've always loved that. And it's something when my granddaughter was young, it's something that I got to share with her in that time. Oh, I wish she was that young, like that young again. It was just this time, baking and cooking with her. So it's just something that I've always loved to do.
Right? There is something about a hot loaf of homemade bread that just brings you back to your childhood and
Yes.
mom baking in the kitchen and you want to share that with other
Yeah,
people.
exactly.
Yeah,
And I always tell them, you may have a hot loaf of bread, but you cannot cut into that thing until it's cool, or otherwise it's going to be gummy and you're going to be sorry that you did it. Don't cut into a hot loaf of bread. That's rule number one. As much as you want to do it, resist the
that's true.
urge.
It's like letting a steak sit after it comes
Yeah.
off the barbecue. Just let it be.
Just
Let it be.
lets it for a minute.
Just
Yeah.
let it be.
Yeah.
Exactly. I remember I grew up in Winnipeg, and there's a bakery in Winnipeg called Cub Rye Bread, KUB. And I remember my dad would go to that bakery and he'd buy like a dozen loaves and they'd just be coming out of the oven hot, hot, hot. And we could never get home without tearing that end off a loaf and just eating it just right out of the bag. It was awesome.
It's so tough not to.
What kind of challenges have you had to overcome so far in starting Lynn's
Oh,
Sourdough Bakery Company?
I would say financial ones to begin with, because there's a lot of work that had to go in at the front end of it before I could get to a place where I could start. So,
Like equipment and all
yeah,
this kind of stuff,
yeah,
right?
and
Yeah.
like investing the time to get the store to mature. And I remember I did a pop-up bake sale shortly before I started selling bread. And that's actually was the impetus to starting to sell. I sold 39 loaves in just under an hour. Like it was,
Smokes.
yeah, but the night before I was up baking until 2 in the morning. So that's the kind of thing where, at that time I didn't really have it all figured out. So I was kind of a little bit disorganized and it was stressful, right? So all of that stress in the beginning and then getting the equipment and it's such an evolving process. Like you never stop learning about things. Like even to this day, I'm still reading about, the best practices in doing something.
You got to hone your craft. You get better and better,
Mhm.
and you try different things,
Yeah.
and you get your process too, because you get a routine down to how to do this. Start the bread to get the starter going, and then you know how long it takes and how many loaves you can do, and all those kinds of things. Yeah,
But yeah, that initial time and financial investment in the beginning, like every other small business, right? It's, yeah, I think that was the biggest challenge. But you know what? Still had fun along the way. Like got up every morning, went, I'm gonna bake things today. It may not turn out great, but I'm gonna give it the best shot. And I don't know, it's again such a geeky thing, but it's so rewarding
yeah.
to do all of it. And for me, like I'm a bit of a what's the word? I'm a bit of a neat freak, but when I get a big bowl of dough and I get to put my hands in it and just go to town, oh, it's just the best thing ever.
Well, it is a very textual thing,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Yeah, yeah. No.
Yeah, a lot of people like I just refuse to use a mixer. Like I need to know, like you can tell a lot by how your dough feels and how your dough is reacting. I don't think I'll ever get to the point where I use a mixer because that's not fun.
No.
Stand there and watch it happen. I want to do it.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Well, and it's handmade, literally handmade.
yeah,
Yeah, like, as you can tell. I
yeah.
think you can tell.
And that's what's really great. And one of my customers has actually said to me a couple of times, "Thank you so much for providing this service." I was like, "No, thank you. Like,
Right? Yeah.
you're feeding my passion. Like this is like I love to do this. I'm glad that I have people that want to buy this thing that I'm creating and that I'm loving doing. It's just it's wonderful. So I think I'm filling sort of a need in the market.
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
yeah, it's a great thing.
Well, you even go to farmers markets nowadays, and it's hard to find somebody selling bread, which is shocking because that's one of the reasons why I will go to a farmers market. It's so weird.
It's the economics of it are tough too because it's like I want to keep my bread at a price point where people can afford it. And I mean, let's face it, anybody that runs a home-based business and that is an artisan or does bake baked goods and stuff like that, we're not making a lot of money. If you
No.
think about our time, like if you think about our cost of goods and what we're selling for, we really aren't making like if you want to talk about it on an hourly basis, we aren't doing it. So
Yeah.
you have to have that passion for it, which I do. And it gives me such wonderful purpose in the morning. But when it comes down to like the financial outlay of doing a farmer's market, it's prohibitive
Oh,
for
by the time you pay for your booth, spend the day there,
yes.
and
Yeah.
then sell the product, yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you could go there and try and sell your bread for 15, $18 a loaf, but even if you're doing 100 loaves of bread, which in and of itself is a challenge too, because then you've got 3 days of like doing your starter, doing your dough, and then baking. Like that's a lot for one day to make $1,000 and then to give,
Yeah.
pay your rent.
Percent of it
Yeah.
to the farmers market. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I get that for sure.
So it'd be great if you could partner up with somebody, if you had like two or three different, like if I was to partner up with somebody that did pies or something, that would be
Yeah.
sort of a
Then you
natural
could spread
synergy.
it out a little bit more. That would make
Right.
sense. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's to do big bakes like that. It's a lot of work.
Yeah. Well, I can imagine it would be. Yeah. So how do people find and put orders in with you?
I am on Facebook and Instagram. So Instagram is at Lynn Sourdough, and they can email me as well, lynnsourdough@gmail.com. And that's the best way to reach me, honestly, is through messages and through email.
All right.
Easy peasy. Yeah, I'm all over my phone all day, so you're never going to wait long to hear from me.
Excellent. Excellent. And when should they put their orders in? If they want it for the weekend or something like that, when would they need to put their order in?
Yeah, so if you wanted bread on Wednesday, you would get your order into me by 6 o'clock tonight. So it really is just, yeah,
So today's Monday afternoon. So okay. So yeah, that's right.
yeah. So not a long lead time. And it's, when people say, oh, and some people like to go, well, I'm baking on a Thursday. I bake every day. I bake 7 days a week.
Okay.
And I'm baking mostly to orders right now because that's keeping me busy enough.
Sure.
But sometimes when if I don't have a lot of orders, I'll bake on spec and then I'll put out and say, hey, I've got this.
I saw that you put an ad out
Yeah.
on Instagram. I think the other day you had a couple extra loaves, and
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. And, they get, because people are like, oh, I forgot to order bread, or, oh, I'm making a chili tonight, or, oh, that'd be really great, or whatever. So I'd love to do more of that baking on spec. But then if I'm baking to orders, I mean, really,
yeah,
not first world problems here. So, but it'd be nice to have more bread available because I do have people going, oh, okay, well, I'll try again next time. And I'm like, just put your order in and have it bake for you.
proudest business moment so far.
Oh my gosh. Honestly, so I would say it's a culmination of different moments that's added up to this sort of light bulb or this aha moment that I had on the weekend. And it filled me up. So I have met so many wonderful people through selling the bread, and they have told their friends, and like truly it's all by word of mouth, right? And it's my friend said you've got the most amazing bread, and I need to order. And we even talked about Shannon, like Shannon, and then she ordered all this bread, and then she's told her friends. So I'm getting like calls from people, and
It's
I
fantastic.
realize that every person that I have met through this journey is just absolutely wonderful. Like everyone is so community focused, support local, and so amazing to talk to and to support. And that's important because
Absolutely, it
you
is.
know
Yeah,
and it's just made me realize what a great community I live in. Like here in Bragg, I really feel like I'm embedded here now, and I've met so many great people. And I thought, wow, I'm not only doing the thing that I love, but I'm just loving life, like in so many ways. I wouldn't say I'm an introverted person, but it's now I'm enjoying getting out and talking to people again and getting to know people and becoming I'm part of a women's network now. And
that's great.
it's led me to so many different things, which is really cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, it is a very supportive business environment in Bragg Creek. Everybody
absolutely.
wants to see each other succeed, and yeah, and just offer help and
Yeah,
assistance wherever they can. Right?
yeah.
Yeah,
And I mean, that's very different for me because in Calgary, it's just a very different environment. It's a different vibe. It's a
totally,
different lifestyle.
100%.
And
Yeah,
yeah, I love it.
yeah.
I love the whole experience and everything. I just love it.
And it's amazing what happens when you put yourself out there
Yes.
and how you find a community
Yes.
like you just mentioned.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And you know what? There's nothing better to me like when somebody emails me or says to me, you know what, your bread is the best bread I've ever had, or your bread is like 10 out of 10. It's like, oh, that makes me feel great because it's like, I do this because I love it, but I'm so glad that I'm, producing something that people love. Like it's,
absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's fantastic. You're bringing joy to people through dough,
Right. Who doesn't
right?
like bread, right?
Yeah, exactly. Why did the sourdough refuse to rise?
I hope you're going to give me the punchline.
It had a sour attitude.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I
There you
was
go.
going to say,
There you
because Lynn didn't do what she was supposed to do, or
go. Needless to say, I love sourdough. How's that?
Okay.
All right. Loaf is all you need.
Yes, that's a good
Is that
one.
one good
Loaf
one?
is all you need.
The yeast I can do is make you smile.
Oh, I
Yeah.
like it too.
Yeah.
You're giving me material here.
I'm giving you. That's right. Bready or not, here I crumb.
Oh, okay. That's one so far. That's one so far.
All right, that's enough. That concludes the dad joke episode for now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Do you have a tip for somebody who may be thinking of starting a business? I mean, this business is only a few months old, but you're not a stranger to being an entrepreneur.
Well, somebody once told me, I used to fly fish with a guy, and his passion was fly fishing, and he would fish 365 days a year if he could. And he turned his passion into a job. He became a guide. And he said to me his biggest regret was that he turned his passion into a job. And I'm kind of like, because he said, now I've taken what I love to do and I'm rowing a boat for people and, like getting paid really good money and stuff. But I actually think that's the opposite. I think in order to do something and be successful at it, you have to be passionate about it because
Yeah,
you have to
exactly.
invest yourself in it. You have to dive into it. You have to be 100% in it, and you can't just half-ass something.
No,
It's
it'd be
some,
whole assed.
yeah, yes, the whole ass. Anything worth doing is worth doing right, and you're gonna have setbacks, and you're gonna have shitty days with pancake bread, and 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 you miss the peak of your starter, so you're losing starter, and you're throwing it out, throwing, and you're spending so much money on flour, and it's there's a lot of really great days, but you have to be prepared to weather those, and you
Yeah,
can't let them set you back, and you can't let that stop you. So I say you really have to have passion
yeah,
for what you want to do.
I agree, 100%. I've because I ask this question to everybody who comes on the show, and I get those two different answers. Most say that they're passionate about what they do, and that's why they're successful doing it. And others say, well, you got to be careful you don't turn your passion into something that you're going to hate because, yeah, because of whatever comes up in the job, right? But I agree with you. If you're going to have something that's going to last a long time, you have to love what you do. And yeah, I think that's important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope this feeling for me never goes away because I just, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but as being part of the community too, right? Like you can see the fruits of your labor, you can see the joy you're bringing to people, and yeah, the impact on it. No, that's good.
And the relationships and
Yeah,
collaborations and it's all great.
exactly. All right, I got some personal questions for you now.
Shoot.
All right. Do you believe in Bigfoot?
Yes.
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 Really? Yeah.
Yeah.
Reluctantly.
You know what? I say reluctantly. I Yes, I do.
All right. Good.
Yes.
Good. Good.
I'm just gonna sit on that. Yes, I do.
You had no close encounters or anything like that? No. Okay. All
I
right.
just can't believe we're all just human in this body and that there's nothing like a Bigfoot out there.
Right.
Yes.
Well, I interviewed Neil McFarlane from Moose Mountain Horseback, and he had the best answer that I've ever heard. And he said, "Yes, I do believe in Bigfoot," but he heard from an indigenous person that it's not in the form of an animal like we would see today, but it's more like a spirit animal, more a guy, I guess you could say. I thought that was beautiful. I,
Yeah,
I like that. Kind of
absolutely.
like that one. Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right. What did you want to be when you grew up?
A pilot.
Really?
Yes, a commercial airline pilot.
Wow.
Yeah, for the longest time. And I grew up in Brampton, Ontario, and we had the Commercial Airline Pilots Association building where the school bus used to take me to school. And I went, one day I'm going to be in that building. And now, oddly enough, I am terrified to fly. I am such a bad flyer. Maybe I should fly myself and I wouldn't be so afraid to fly.
Maybe you got to be in control. Maybe
Yes.
that's what
You know
it
what?
is.
That's totally what it is.
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
it. Yeah,
yeah.
Exactly. That's cool. Never heard that one yet. What was your first job?
Oh gosh, I worked at Harvey's.
Oh,
Yes. Flipping hamburgers.
nice.
Yep.
Do you still enjoy a Harvey burger?
You know what? It's the only burger in Canada that I enjoy.
Is that right?
If I'm down in the States, In-N-Out Burger's it, but in Canada, it's a Harvey's.
Okay. Yeah. There's not a lot of Harveys around.
There isn't.
No.
But every time I find myself over near West Hills, I'm like, ooh, it's a Harvey's hamburger joint. You think so?
What was your favorite job?
Oh
Or
my
what is
gosh.
your favorite job? Maybe that's a
What
better
is my
question.
favorite job? I would say my last, it's tough because they're all different in so many
Mhm.
ways, right? But in terms of relationships and satisfaction with the with the work, who I was working for. It would be my last corporate oil and gas job just because my boss and I were just, he wasn't like my boss. Like we had a great working relationship, and that made it really great to go into work every day. So I enjoyed that very much. But I would say, I loved the restaurant because it was a challenge when I joined it. It was close to bankruptcy,
Oh, wow.
and it was a challenge to bring it to what is now a thriving restaurant. So I I like that because it just every day I got up and went, like, what's the next step? Like, what do I need to do? Where are the issues and how do I fix them and stuff? And that was very much a huge learning process for me. And, my background is in finance and stuff, but it's a whole different ballgame when you're juggling, a business like
So,
that. So
yeah.
yeah, that one taught me a lot, even though the restaurant biz isn't my game, but yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Interesting. What was your worst job?
Oh, working at Swiss Chalet.
Swish.
I worked at Swiss Chalet to put myself through college, and I will tell you, I will never go back to a Swiss Chalet because I saw some things there that just
Can't unsee.
nope, can't
No,
unsee them. So
really. Wow.
yes, and tyrannical managers and yeah,
Yeesh.
no,
Well, I think they're owned by like a big conglomerate now,
yeah,
are they not? Yeah.
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 So a lot of lot of type A personalities there, which I don't mesh with. So it was I think maybe because I had to have that job to put myself through college, so didn't really have any options. So that might be too.
What was your favorite subject in school?
Oh my gosh, band. Yeah, like I was just lousy at math, science, history, geography. But me something. I thought I was going to go into something artistic, like maybe I'm going to be a musician or something. But yeah, and I was like, oh, I can't wait to go to music class today.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's good. Do you still play something an
No,
instrument? No.
honestly, I thought it is. I'm going to own this house and I have a fire pit. I'm going to learn how to play the guitar.
Right.
Just I'm going to sit by the fire pit and play guitar. My
Mhm.
neighbors are going to think I'm a rock star.
Right.
I tried.
I know.
I'm
I
just
know. I'm with you. I'm with
I
you.
I went for a couple of lessons and the guitar instructor said to me, "You're gonna have to cut your nails." And I went, "I'm out. Nope, need my long nails. It's not gonna happen."
Uh,
I mean, I'd still like to, but I think that's the kind of thing you almost have to have a natural thing for, and it's just not my. It's weird.
I know. I have guitar. I've got a ukulele. I have a mandolin.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't play any of them.
Oh,
No. That's a sad story. It's a sad story. Yeah. But it's time, really. That's what I got to do.
yeah.
I just got to do
But you
the
have the
time.
ability to.
I know. I'm sure I do. Everybody's got ability. Was it going to be any good or not? I don't know. Yeah. It's tough to say. It's tough to say. What's your special skill?
A special skill. My gosh, being organized.
Yeah. Well,
I'm
bacon, you got to be. You got to be.
Yeah, I'm a creature of process, and I'm just everything for me is it's process driven. Yeah.
Yeah. I've been fired.
I
I mean, really?
I have.
Oh,
I
boy.
was fired just a couple of years ago. I was hired to do a job here to work remotely, and then they changed their minds. Said you need
It's
to
too
come
bad.
into the office, and I said that's not why I was hired. And they said we can't keep you anymore. So, I mean, if I was ever,
That's the old switcheroo.
I know. So it was disappointing because I really enjoyed that job. And it still was a bit of an ego shot because I was terminated. If I was terminated for a performance issue, I think that would devastate me because
It's a
I
little
always,
different. Yeah.
yeah, but still, I'm kind of like, man, I'm like 58 and I just got fired from my first job. Like, this sucks. It
Yeah.
was a good
Wow.
job,
That's not
too.
that's not your fault though.
I know,
Jeepers.
but
No.
yeah.
Fuck them. Right?
Exactly.
Do you want to name names? We can call them out right now. If you want. I don't care.
You know what? Honestly, that job, one of my very best friends is still, we're still friends today. So it was
Oh,
just
that's
kind of
nice.
like, yeah, but yeah, it was a good job. Learned a bunch of new skills and was having a great old time. They went, and I went, no,
Well,
yeah,
it's experience.
yeah,
That's all you can say.
yeah. And it
Yeah.
led me here. So it's all
Right?
good. It's
No,
all
I'd
good.
rather have your hands in dough than on a keyboard. I imagine,
Exactly.
right?
Yes.
Yes.
100%.
Yeah. No, that's good. All right. Well, we said a lot. Told some bad jokes.
Talked a lot about bread.
We talked a lot about bread. Anything you want to mention? Anything you want to wrap things up with?
Um, I'm just honestly, as I'm looking forward to my future and sort of creating like my path forward. I'm at a place where I'm loving life. And, how, when someone says to me, how you doing? I'm like, man, I'm living my best life, and I'm
That's good.
just, I'm so grateful for my customers who continue to support me
Yeah.
and who continue to give me this great feedback and just make me, not that I could get happier doing what I'm doing, but I'm happier doing what I'm doing. Like it's,
Okay.
yeah. So
100%.
yeah, totally grateful for the support and everything that I get from my community and beyond.
Well, thanks very much, Lynn, for coming on. Lynn's Sourdough Bakery Company, based in Redwood Meadows. Put your orders in. Within a couple of days, you get them. Right? Okay. Find you on Instagram and Facebook
That's
or
right.
at your email address, which is
lynnsourdough@gmail.com.
Thanks very much, Lynn.
Okay, thank
Wish you
you.
the best.
Thanks very much.
Thank you. Visit Lynn's Sourdough Bakery Company on Instagram at Lynn Sourdough or shoot her an email at lynnsourdough@gmail.com to discover what the flavors of the week are. The bread is unreal and goes fast, so get your orders in. Have a great week.